replays work? Oh, it worked. Yes, finally. I don't know why this thing always just spins around in circles and doesn't let me go live. Hey, y'all, what's up? I'm going to try not to let my computer slide off of this. I got a really fancy setup right now. I got a Pottery Barn kids chair flipped upside down, and my computer is resting on it, and I was just checking on the kids. Cullen is getting them to bed. They are snuggled up. I don't know if you can see, but anyways, yes. So making sure everything's going good. Working on setting these boundaries so I can get to this thing on time. Yeah. Hey. Oh, look, y'all are here. Hey guys. Hey, Ashley, Allison, Jordan, Sarah, Becky. Whoa, chat disappeared and came back. Melissa, the Brights, Danielle, Dana. Oh my gosh, it's going so fast. Okay. Hey, what's up? Oh, somebody's trying to do their homework while they watch this. Hey, if you get something done while you're watching a video, I'm so impressed for the multitasking. Hey, Laurel, what's up from Iowa? Okay. So live stream Sunday night. Here we are. Hopefully the kids are going to be asleep here before long. The goal is to get them in bed a little bit earlier, but who is out of school or off work or whatever else tomorrow? Because our kids are, because it's Columbus Day. So we, kind of like push the bedtime a little later because they don't have to go to school tomorrow. So we were chilling. I was actually working on Gaines's closet. Oh my goodness, because she's like outgrown everything all of a sudden. If y'all have kids, did they suddenly wake up and their pajamas are just like, what? How did you like your feet? They're coming out the bottom of your pajamas, or the pants are like, well, this too short, and it's crazy. So yeah, that happened recently, and I was like, seriously, all of a sudden your clothes just don't fit. So we went through a bunch of hand-me-down clothes today. Okay, I have to show y'all this picture because I haven't posted it anywhere. You're only going to get to see this if you are here on the live stream watching this, or if you watch the replay, because we were doing these clothes today, and Gaines was trying on Emily's old hand-me-down clothes that she passed down, and Brooks had to be a part of it. So here is Brooks in one of the smocked dresses. I was like, I can't post this on the internet and have it there forever. But I thought it was hilarious because he wanted to wear one really bad. So there's Brooks in his little smock Christmas dress. If you ever wondered what he would look like as a girl, he just doesn't have his bow in his hair, but yeah, it was hilarious. So that's obviously not what we're here to talk about, but I just figured I'd talk about a few other things here before we get started on everything. Look at all these emojis. Dang, y'all are blowing up the little emojis. That's very fun. Oh, somebody's kids skipped a size. I feel like that happens in shoes too with my kids. Like Gaines right now wears a 9, and then she tried on some of Emily's old shoes today that were an 11, and they fit perfectly. And I was like, well, I guess you just skipped some stuff in between. But I think it's like they grow and they kind of squeeze in the other ones. And yeah. Anyways, oh, April, you got school tomorrow. Makeup day from the hurricane. Oh yeah, that stinks. Well, I love my kids and I love them being home, but I'm kind of like, oh no, we're going to miss a day of work because they're going to be out of school. So, but we're going to have fun. It'll be great. Oh, look at the green hearts. Gaines would love that. You finally have Wi-Fi after no power from Hurricane Florence. Dad bless. That was a long time ago. What is that emoji? Oh, is that an elephant? It looks so different on YouTube. How many shoes? You can never have too many. I was just thinking about that today. I'm not sure I should even admit or could count how many shoes my kids have, because it's kind of a problem. Like, I don't have that many shoes personally, but my kids, they have way too many shoes probably, especially, we're just not going to talk about it. I have a kid's clothes and shoes problem. If y'all have been around for a while, you know what that. Will we have a third kid? I don't know. We're not going to talk about that right now. Okay, so can I please come to Toronto, Canada? Actually, I've been there a long time ago. It's been a while though. Okay. Oh my goodness. How's everybody's weekend been? Y'all been doing good? Let's get to talking about some stuff. How have things been for this week? How's the weekend been? Our weekend, what did we even do this weekend? Hey, you kind of get like a little real live thing because our vlogs aren't like real time as much anymore as they used to be. So what did we even do this weekend? I don't even remember. But, oh yeah, date night Friday night. Friday night we had a date night. If you were following me on Instagram, you would have seen that as well there. Oh, and yesterday we went like kind of hiking. It wasn't hiking at all. We went to a natural area with like big rocks and a mountain, and the kids played and got really dirty, and that was really fun. They had a good time doing that. And then we came back, and Brittany and Corey came over because Cullen was helping edit a video for them. They're doing, if you haven't heard, they're doing Baby League, Baby Steps. If y'all been around for a long time, we did Baby Steps on Baby League when I was pregnant with Gaines. Now they're doing it. So anyways, we did that, watched the Alabama game earlier in the day, watched other games last night. So that was that. And then today we've been working on closets and got Gaines. I finally got most of her 2T stuff out of her closet because I was like, I guess it's not going to fit anymore. Got to draw some boundaries on the closet and the clothes. Okay. So let's talk about what we're all here to talk about, or at least I'm here to talk about. If y'all saw my video this past Thursday, I talked about guilt, and there's a lot of guilt around everything, especially if you're a mom. There's tons of mom guilt. A lot of people talk about guilt and feeling guilty all the time. The week before that, I talked about boundaries and setting boundaries and how, why, when, what, all of the things, and how I feel like a lot of times I get super stressed, super overwhelmed, feel just pressure from all sides of everything. And a lot of what I've realized is that I have a hard time setting boundaries and keeping boundaries. And that can mean a lot of different things. I mean, sometimes it's like self-discipline. Sometimes it has to do with other people. Sometimes it has to do with like not making as many commitments. Sometimes it has to do with, not letting somebody else determine my schedule or what I'm going to do. I'm about to sneeze. Sorry, excuse me. Live video, you get all the sneezes and everything. Yes, we were talking about boundaries, and a lot of y'all have commented and told me about your boundaries. I want to hear about, I'm going to be reading through these comments, and I want to hear about what boundaries y'all have set for yourselves this past week, how it has either gone well or how it has not gone well. I want to hear about it. I want to talk about it. I want to work through it because I feel like one of the most helpful ways to talk about something, thanks for all the bless yous. Thanks. The best way to kind of like work through something is to see other people's examples and learn from other people's examples. So y'all leave your comments. And I just saw somebody say, Kendall Young said, you can't fill someone else's cup if yours is always empty. And I find that to be so true in so many different ways. I talked a lot about, making sure you take care of yourself and all of that in my video. And I just feel like that's a really important thing that I focus on. And that does not just mean like which it does mean, but it does not just mean like go get yourself a pedicure, go get yourself a massage, or like, whatever. That stuff is important. But I think a lot of people, when I say something like, oh, make sure you're taking care of yourself, people will say, like, oh, I don't have time, I can't get away. But it's a lot more than like just going out and spending money on yourself or something like that. So let's see. Kendall said her boundary was for the kids to stay out of her makeup. After saying your closet is off limits, I decided my makeup can be off limits. Okay, how did it go? Did it work? Was it hard? I know if y'all watched my first video, I talked about how that was one of the times when I realized like it's okay to like have boundaries. So in this whole boundary talk, I'm talking about a broad range of different things. Obviously, there's some major serious life boundaries, but then some of them are simple like this, keeping your kids out of your closet because they kept messing up stuff in there. And it was like driving me crazy. And so I just finally was like, okay, hey, guess what? I can just tell them, no, you can't get in my closet at all. And actually today when we were cleaning up Gaines's closet, Brooks came up there and was like playing, whatever. And he kept going in her closet and like grabbing stuff off the shelves. And I was like, okay, actually, let's just make a rule. Nobody's allowed in anybody else's closet except mommy and daddy are allowed in y'all's closets because we got to put your clothes up and stuff. But like Brooks, you're not allowed in Gaines' closet or my closet or daddy's closet. Like everybody stay in your own closet. Nobody come out the closet. Anyway, yeah. So let me know how it went with your makeup. Okay, let's see. She said it's gone okay. My son cried a couple times and left me alone. Good. And it gets easier the longer that you enforce it, stick with it. Then it's not a question. It's not like well, maybe, I mean, like, maybe if I ask a few more times, she'll let me. If they know it's a no, eventually they're going to give up and like not even think about it anymore. So it makes things easier, I think, on you and on your kids, because for them, it's like there's not even the pressure to ask, or there's not even the pressure to, one thing I really want to work on soon with all this boundary stuff is them eating whatever I cook and me not just giving in and making like chicken nuggets and mac and cheese every night. But yeah, I think the more that they just do it and they know it's expected, that's just how it goes. Okay, let's see. Antonia said, oh, where did it go? Shoot. Okay. She said, I took my daughter and had a fun shopping day yesterday in preparation for a big work day today. It's important to let them know that they're important, but work is important too. That's very good. So I talked about that some in my last video too, like separating out, like just, maybe you're drawing a boundary with your kids on, this isn't the time that I can play with you. I've got to do this. These both things are important, but giving them a, hey, but I will do this with you later. I will have time, set aside special time just for you, so they know both things are important. Laura said, making time for the gym, my time to work on bettering myself outside of work and school and the busyness of life. Very good. Setting time for the gym. That's something on my list of working towards as well. Making myself time to exercise, making my kids eat what I cook for dinner. And there's several things on my list, but that's one of them as well. Okay, let's see. It's hard to read all these comments and stay on top of them and talk about them as well. Okay, my boundary is this is Hannah. She said, my boundary is I get 30 to 45 minutes a day to either sleep or take a bath, read, or do a hobby with no interruptions from hubby or my 5-year-old boy. Been doing it for 2 years and it's amazing. That's awesome. And I love that you left it broad. Like basically it's 30 to 45 minutes a day of your own time to do whatever you want to do, and like no guilt, because I feel like a lot of times there is guilt for whatever reason, society or anybody in your family or whatever it may be, if you want to like take a nap and you can, or if you want to just like chill and stare at the wall for 30 minutes or whatever you want to do. I feel like there's a lot of guilt for that. But if you've set aside that you can do whatever you want, this is your time, it's your like free time, then do what you want to do. There you go. That is awesome. Let's see. Okay, so Cassie said, my boundary is not spreading myself so thin that I can do anything else or have some me time. Okay, that is a good one too. That is a very, 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 very thing. A very, very important thing that I know a lot of people are working on is not spreading yourself too thin. I would say to that too, what are you doing exactly to make sure that you don't do that? I think that's something I posted last, I guess it was Monday, about how I had bunches of laundry, but I was like going to work first and not do the laundry and do the laundry later, whatever. And I was commenting back to some people who were talking about boundaries and different things like goals that they had for themselves, and kind of talking about how setting the boundary, and I think this is something I'll probably talk about in an upcoming video, like setting the boundary is the first step. And then figuring out how you're going to enforce it is the next step. That's kind of hard to do sometimes. So obviously something like the kids aren't allowed in the closet is pretty straightforward. Like just don't let the kids in the closet. I'm trying to think of one of the examples from the comment that there was somebody who was saying she was going to cook better meals. And it was more of like a goal, and I guess to kind of like not allow herself to eat unhealthy food and to eat healthy food. And so I was like, well, that's a great boundary. So what's something that you could do today, like today, right now, to start on that boundary? And she was saying she wanted to cook more healthy meals during the week. And so I said, okay, how about then just for today, set yourself a little tiny goal or step that you're going to go on Pinterest or wherever you like to look for recipes and find some recipes and just like bookmark a few of them and say, these are the ones I want to work on. Maybe tomorrow you work on your shopping list. Maybe the next day you go to the grocery store and buy stuff for one meal and you cook that one meal or whatever it may be. But I think a lot of times I get overwhelmed with like, okay, I got to eat healthier. And so I think like this whole like major makeover of my entire meal plan, breakfast, lunch, dinner, which yes, that's important. But when it's really overwhelming, you kind of want to take it one step at a time. So yes, great. Make sure you're thinking of the steps along the way. What up, Laura Beth Schmidt? Hey girl, thanks for the super chat. She said, did what you said and went got my hair done. I saw her on Instagram. She went got her hair done and it looked so cute, so fabulous. I've been working on taking time with each child this week, trying so hard not to let little things bother me. That is an excellent, excellent thing. And taking time with each kid is so important. And not letting little things bother you, that is hard as well. So let me know what you're doing to make that happen, because I need some help on that too. Because lately I feel like I get so overwhelmed and crazy with just like the littlest things. I think Missy Lanning actually posted something about this on Insta stories yesterday and was like, any tips from anybody on like having more patience, because I do not have a lot of patience right now. I was like, same. If you get good help and tips, let me know, because I have some trouble with that, with being patient. But thank you, Laura Beth, so much. Appreciate it. Let's see. Can you talk about discipline? I'm having such a hard time with my 2-year-old. I'm consistent and she just doesn't care. Ooh, girl, that's a whole nother topic. Colleen Tyler asked that question. That is definitely something I would like to talk about at some point as a whole nother topic for another video though. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Let's see. I find it hard. This is Hey Happy said, I find it hard when you set boundaries, but hubby doesn't agree / doesn't differently. Like inviting others over before talking to me or making plans before we talk about it. How do I deal with that? Okay, that is a really important thing. And that is can cause major problems. And that is definitely something that we have kind of been working through lately as well, to some extent. I know, things in life change and there's different schedules and different opinions of different people. And it's really important to respect each other's boundaries. I know with Cullen doing the podcast and having to schedule time with Brittany to film it and to plan stuff and to do business stuff that they need to do, that's something that we've never, not never, but in the past several years, us doing YouTube ourselves, doing, social media stuff, it's always the two of us working around our own schedules. Like, I talk about what I'm going to talk about and do my thing, and he does his thing. But once there's somebody else involved, and he'll talk to her and they'll decide a time. And then it's like all of a sudden, maybe I haven't said anything, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, hey, I'm going to run. And while the kids are napping, I'm going to go to the store. And, I may not be back by the time they wake up. So I'm thinking he'll be here because I hadn't heard any differently. And then maybe I'm like, oh, the kids are going up for a nap. And then he's like, oh, well, Brittany's coming over and we're going to film. And I'm like, oh, well, shoot. Like now you're going to be busy. So basically one main thing for that is communication, I think. But I think a little bit of it, we had to spend some time, or I guess I had to express to him why that was important to me to know ahead of time and to kind of plan things ahead. Because at first I think I would get upset about it and be like, oh my gosh, we can't do that right now because I have this to do. And, blah, blah, blah. And so he would kind of feel like that was rude, which I guess, the way you can approach things is you got to kind of watch what you say and it can come across a different way. But once I kind of laid it out there and said, this is kind of what I talked about in my last video too, talking about the why, like you have to know the why of setting a boundary. And I was explaining to him that when that happens, it makes me feel like, or maybe it was making me feel like the plans that I was making or, whatever I needed to do, whether it was, filming a video for my channel or doing something around the house or whatever it may be, it was making me feel like that wasn't important and that his plans took priority over mine. And just kind of trying to have a nice, straightforward, honest conversation it really was helpful for us. And just kind of discussing it and, discussing it with each other, letting each other know like, hey, it's not that I'm trying to control your schedule. It's not that I'm trying to say you can't have friends over, you can't film the podcast, you can't do whatever you need to do. But like, let's respect the fact that we each have things that we want to do that's important to us. And like me filming videos for my channel is important. And I feel like I'm the one who usually has to say, like, I'm going to go film a video. And then he's like, oh, well, we're already doing this or whatever. Anyways, that is definitely something that has to be discussed when something changes in your life like that. And it was a big thing for us. I think it's really important to respect each other in that way, respect each other's boundaries, respect the reason why somebody's asking for that. Another thing that we have actually done, I found randomly at Target. It's like a piece of paper the size of like a sheet of notebook paper, and it's got the days like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, up and down. It's like just a long column. And I hung one of those up on the fridge one week, and now it just wrote down things that I knew so far that we had to do. And that was helpful because it's on the fridge. We see it. And yes, we have, our calendars linked on our phones and everywhere else. We have them written everywhere. But seeing it there, and like he would write things, because sometimes you just forget to tell each other and it's not intentional. But hang on, let me get to the super chat. Where does Spears? Laura Beth said, we've been setting goals for the kids. So this week was good. And we went to the corn maze. Rewarding has been working really well with Hattie. That's awesome. Yes, rewarding is a great, great, great thing to do. And setting goals for your kids as well as yourself is definitely good too. I saw y'all's corn maze pictures and stories, and that looks super fun too. So thank you for that comment. But yeah, that's been definitely helpful to have. Like, it's different than just having like a little calendar with little blocks or whatever. Having that on the refrigerator, I use different color pens because I like to do that kind of thing. And like just putting on there the times of the kids' soccer and gymnastics and whatever else they have, when videos need to go up, when we need to film this for this person. And, anyways, that was a really long explanation for that question, but I feel like it's something that a lot of people deal with. So hopefully that helps you. Let's see. Oh, look, I just got back to your comment. You said, thanks for the insight. I think that was you. I think that's, hey, Happy. Are you the one that just asked? I think that's who's coming. I was responding to. Sorry, it gets a little confusing. I'm like reading all these different things. Angelica said, making sure I got my homework done before I did anything else was a goal for me, but I found I still am not doing that. It's hard to not focus on my kids and family and get really behind on homework. That is definitely, it's hard. And I totally get what you're saying too, with like, I'm going to do this before I do anything else, and, try to make time for everybody. One thing that I will say that I've done, because, with what we do, there's a lot of things that never ends. Reading and responding to comments. I could literally do that all day, respond to emails from brands, plan ideas for videos. Like, there's literally just stuff I could do all throughout the day. So one thing I have done for myself and for my kids and for whoever else is to sit down and tell myself, like, I may not be able to get all my work done before whatever time. I try to set a realistic expectation and tell myself, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to respond to comments for 30 minutes. Or I'm going to sit here and I'm going to work on, like, I'm going to do some Insta stories, or I'm going to respond to emails or whatever it is, and kind of set myself a timeline. And so that once that time is over, say like it's at 9:30 a.m. and as I'll say at 10 o'clock, whatever I'm doing, I'm going to cut it off and I'm going to go do XYZ. So like, for example, laundry. So that during the 9:30 to 10 o'clock time, when I'm responding to emails, when I'm responding to comments, whatever it may be, I'm not sitting there going like, responding to one comment and then being like, I've got to do that laundry. Oh my gosh, it's driving me crazy. Like, I feel so guilty that my kids are sitting over there watching TV and I should really be playing with them. They should be doing something educational. Like, oh, this is terrible. I know in my mind that at 10 o'clock, I'm going to do the laundry, or I'm going to say that it's just that you want to like get on Facebook and take a break or whatever. So when I set that boundary for myself, I set that timeline, that time limit, I'm better able to fully focus on what I need to focus on during that time frame. And then after that, fully focus on the kids or fully focus on the laundry or whatever it may be, and kind of just breaking it up like that and allowing myself to work it in segments. So it's not like I'm thinking about everything at once, because us women, our brains are like this constantly. And Cullen always makes fun of me for that, because I'm like thinking about a million things. He's like, I'm in my like editing box. I'm not thinking about our plans for this weekend, or I'm in my whatever box. So that would be how I help myself with that issue. Let's see. Amy Payne, hi from Texas. I've been getting my 6-year-old son more involved in daily inside chores. Boys vacuum too. Oh, that's a good one. Getting him to do inside chores. Why can I not say this? I keep looking at the word boys right next to chores, and I'm like, boys' choice. That's a good one. And it sounds like you've started with vacuuming. So getting him to vacuum and letting that be his little chore. And the more he does it, the more he might want to help with other chores. What was it that we were doing this week? Cullen, it was one day this week, I was working on, it was Thursday because I was getting this video up. And so Cullen was in charge of the kids. And I was like, hey, by the way, when we wake up in the morning, this was the night before we went to bed, I said, I got to get my video up tomorrow morning. It's uploaded, but I don't have the thumbnail and the title and all that done. So I need a little bit of time. If you could be in charge of the kids, and I'll get back with you when I'm done. So he had them outside, like cleaning up the porch, and they were cleaning and getting stuff done, which is great. Cause I'm like, why the heck can they not do that when I want to clean up something? Like, hot dang, I try to get them, or like, I don't even care if they help. Just like, don't bother me and let me clean the porch. Y'all play out here. And then it ends up in a disaster. But somehow they were helping him clean the porch because dads can just do that type of thing. And, so they were helping him. And then when I was in charge later in the day, I took Gaines up for her nap, and I was putting Brooks to bed first, went into her room, and she was like cleaning up her whole room. She had all kinds of stuff like organized and was putting away putting dirty clothes in the hamper and everything. I was like, see, so she learned something from like watching and helping him clean up. So it's inspirational for her, I guess. But I think sometimes I feel bad being like, oh, they're kids. They should just play. They shouldn't have to, do work or whatever else. But they should do their part. They're fine. They're fine. And they actually like to do it. It makes them feel productive. Let's see. The cleaning teacher said, as a teacher, I get that work doesn't always have a finite end. That's often difficult because it's just nonstop. Having those many time goals is so important. Completely agree. I'm glad that works for you too. Yes, I cannot imagine. God bless all of you teachers because y'all are amazing and you make the world go round. Let's see. Oh shoot, where this just disappeared. Somebody said, well, now I don't see it. Where did it go? Somebody just commented something I was about to read. Okay, well, oh well. Okay, Kendall Young said, yesterday I set alarms when my daughter wanted to play for my cleaning, out playing. And when it was time to clean up, it worked. No one cried, and they even helped clean up. Crazy. That's awesome. Yes, that's fabulous. I love that. So setting the little time blocks and making it work. I will say the timer on my phone is like one of the most used things recently because it's just like right here and you can just touch it and it shows up. And we use that thing. You see it's on 2 minutes. So you can take a little guess who was the last person in timeout. Would be Brooks because we do a minute per year of age. So his is 2 minutes, but we use the timer for timeout on my phone. We use it for so many things. And that is so helpful in getting kids to like stop and do whatever they need to do, or do whatever you need them to do. Because then the timer's telling them and not you, always, all the time. Even tonight, I was like, all right, we got to go up. And they're like, no. And I said, we got 2 more minutes. And I said the timer, as soon as the timer went off. Sometimes they complain a little bit, but they've learned like that means business. Like that's serious. If you set the timer and it goes off, it's weird. It's weird how it works. But yeah, if y'all aren't using the timer on your phone for like everything, it's great. Good suggestion, Kendall. I'm glad you're using that as well. Let's say, okay, cleaning teacher said she's the timer on her Apple Watch. Maybe mine's just on silent because that's one thing I've been like, I don't ever hear it. It vibrates, but the kids can't hear it. So I think they don't believe me. Maybe, oh yeah, it's on silent. That'll be why. Yeah. Because I don't like it dinging all the time. Okay, Morgan G said, as a single mom, I always feel guilty to ask someone for help so I can get me time. Yes, that is a thing. It is seriously that. Totally, I hear you. And obviously, I'm not a single mom, and I do have lots of help, but that's something I talked about in my last video too, just the guilt you feel. I think I have thoughts of there's times when Cullen and I, like, I've let myself accept date night, that like we've got to do that. That's part of what we need to do for our relationship and for our marriage. Yes, it's fun, but we need to do that. So I don't feel guilty as much asking for time for that. Um, but I feel like when there's something that's like for work or for, there's like a timeline, a time frame, a deadline, maybe like a wedding you have to go to or an event or something. And when you have to ask somebody to keep the kids, I'm like, don't feel as bad about it, because it's like there's a reason that I have to do it. And it's like, oh, we have to go on this trip. So, we need people to keep the kids. But I have not asked anybody to keep the kids just for us to just go on a trip that's not for work. So yeah, I need to work on that myself, getting past the guilt of asking for help so you can have me time. For whatever reason, society, the world, internet, Facebook, Pinterest, all makes you feel like you have to be everything to everybody all the time, and that taking time for yourself is not, I don't know, it's not valued as much as it should be. But in this world of nonstop everything, nonstop social media, nonstop pressure, nonstop all of it, it is so important to get that me time and to get that time for yourself to just reset, regroup. I know before I had kids, I would hear people say something like, "Oh yeah, I just want to go on a trip by myself, like for a day. I don't want to talk to anybody." And I was like, "Well, that's weird. Why would you want to do that?" And there are times now I'm like, I want to just like sit in a quiet room in the dark and not do anything for like an entire day or maybe a week, something like that. Oh, gracious. Okay, let's see. Alicia Ramirez said, I'm a single mom and have a picky eater, so I feel guilty for not feeding my toddler the right things. I need help finding good food for him. Okay, well, Alicia, let me just tell you, that is my life, and I have no tips. I'm in the same boat. No, I mean, it's one of those things I'm like, I know what I should do, but I just am not good enough at it, at enforcing it. And if you weren't here earlier in the live stream, I was talking about how that's something I want to talk about in the future, and something I definitely want to work on is they're going to eat what I make them. I know things that I have intended to try that I have not tried is mixing it up, making a variety of things, but making sure there's at least one thing on their plate that I know they will like, so that I don't feel like I'm forcing them to eat. Because like if somebody gave me a plate of tomatoes, I hate tomatoes, I would be like ticked and I would not eat it. I don't care if I'm going to like go hungry, I would not eat it. So I would say that making sure there's at least one thing that they'll eat, but sometimes I save that thing for after I'll be like, you have to have a bite of your chicken first, or you have to have a bite of they actually love broccoli, but you have to have a bite of your green beans or whatever it is first. And then I'll give you your mac and cheese. And that's part of your dinner. It's not like I'm fixing you a separate plate. It's just like, hey, here's all the stuff we're having for dinner, so that they don't think I'm just making it separate because they didn't eat something, but like, you got to eat this first. That, and something recently that I've tried to be better about with our kids is not letting them snack so much. They both still take an afternoon nap, so I'll try to give them a snack right after they wake up. And then, once it gets closer to dinner time, like a couple hours before, no more snacks. I'm not sitting here and telling you I'm perfect at this at all, but the days that I do enforce it and I am consistent with it, they are so much better at eating what is on their plate. Neither of them like red sauce. So like pizza and spaghetti are like out of the question usually. But the other night I not made a big deal of, but I was like making dinner and like cooking stuff in the kitchen. And, usually it's something quick and I just kind of throw it together and put it on their plates and they don't even really know. But I was like preparing something and they kept asking for snacks. I was like, no, I made them go play with their toys and like stay out of the way and not be all crazy and whining and everything. I was like, I'm making dinner. And then I just fixed it, put it on their plates, didn't even say anything like, oh, you may not like this. I just put it on their plates and they both ate it. And I told Cullen, I was like, are we being punked here? Like, what is going on? So limiting snacking, making sure there's something they like. Now, granted, there was noodles in it. They like noodles, but they usually don't like the red sauce. So anyways, we're going to work on that together. If you have other tips on helping your kid eat what you make or eat healthier foods, because noodles and red sauce is not necessarily healthy, but yeah, I need to make meat or vegetables. Guess just having them try it. Okie dokie, let's see. Let's see. Ashley Marie said, I feel guilty getting me time because my kids always whine when I leave. Makes me feel like I need to get back ASAP to get back with them. Been working on trying not to feel so guilty. Totally hear you on that. That was actually tonight too when I came downstairs to do this video and Cullen was putting the kids to bed. Brooks has gotten very like, mommy, he wants me to put him to bed for bedtime. And so when I left, he was like upset, and I'd given him his bath and like brushed his teeth and gotten his pajamas on and all that stuff. So I'd been up there and been a part of it and like gave him all the hugs and been with him all day and everything else. So it's not like I haven't even seen him. But still I felt a little bit bad and was like, oh, I'll just stay up here and I'll just help and I'll just whatever. I'll go in there with him. But then I was like, no, it's fine. Like Cullen's putting him to bed. It's not like I'm saying like go to bed by yourself. I'm not even gonna talk to you. You know, he was perfectly capable of Cullen putting him to bed. And by the time I got down here and checked the monitor, he was fine. And he wasn't even upset about it and did not care. So sometimes I think they do that because they know they'll get a reaction out of us and they may actually be, you know, sad about it, but they'll be all right. They will be all right. Let's see. Oh, wait, where did I go? Where's all the chats? Where's the chat? Okay. Hannah Shedrick said, I grew up with you either eat what's on your plate with no thank you helpings, or you can have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or oh well. Yeah, and that is definitely an option too. I feel like if I gave my kids that option, though, they'd eat peanut butter and jelly every time though. So let's see. Okay, sorry. This is getting long. Oh my goodness. I've been talking to y'all for like 35 minutes. I need to wrap this up, but I'm having a good time talking to y'all. I don't want to leave. Okay. I'm going to read a few more, but I don't want to leave. This is great. I really, really, really enjoy talking to you guys and hearing your stories. Colleen Tyler said, I like to try letting her choose between A and B instead of saying, do you want this? I'll say, do you want this or that? Because it makes them think they have the power, but you do. Yes, 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 yes. That is a great tip. Definitely letting them pick between two of your choices instead of just asking if they want to do whatever. I did that with Brooks the other day on something. Oh, it was like he needed to, I think we were getting ready to eat dinner or something. And he was like, no, watch Blippi, of course, because Blippi is life. And I was like, no, it's time to eat dinner. And so I was like, we have to eat dinner. And he's like, no, watch Blippi. And so I said, okay, do you want me to carry you to the table or do you want to walk to the table? So this was at a point of like, you're not even really getting fun choices. But I was like, I'll come pick you up and carry you, or you can bring yourself to the table. And I was like, okay, I'm going to come get you, because he kept saying, watch Blippi. And I was like, no, I'm going to carry you then. He was like, no, Brooks, walk. And so then he walked to the table. I was like, yes, parent win. Got through that one. All right, let's see. Laura Schmidt said, Hattie won't eat anything, so he's veggie pasta and chicken nuggets made with veggies. I hadn't tried the chicken nuggets made with veggies. Anders will eat anything. Hattie is saying, Gaines Brooks mama. Oh, hey, Hattie. That's good. I haven't tried the chicken nuggets made with veggies. We've tried the veggie pasta before. My kids are like, not so much, but whatever. You got to keep trying it. Just keep trying it. Okay, let's see. Cassie Miller. Oh, I was going to tweet about this the other day. She said, when I was a kid, my mom wouldn't give me my drink until I ate part of my food because I wanted to drink more than I wanted to eat food. That's so funny, because I almost tweeted the other day and I was like, am I the only mean mom that will not give my kids their drink until they've eaten their food, or like a good bit of their food? Now, if they're choking or something, or they like need to get it down, then I will. But if I give them their milk, and they have something on their plate they don't like, they'll just drink the whole cup of milk and be like, well, I'm full. And yeah, so we totally do that same thing. That's a great suggestion. We do that too. Water and milk, because I mean, that'll fill you up too. I'm like, you need some nutrition, children. How about that? When I was a kid, I had to eat at least one bite of everything on my plate. Yes, and we totally do that too. We're like, y'all gotta just eat a little bit of it. But all right, so yes, last video, boundaries. This video, past week, guilt. what exactly do y'all want to hear about this week? I was thinking I would talk about kind of like strategies for setting up boundaries, how to kind of decide what they need to be, what you need to work on, all that. But if y'all have suggestions of specific things that you want to hear me talk about, or obviously the food thing, the kids and the food and the boundaries, because I said I need to work on that. So maybe we'll all work on that together. I realized one thing I didn't do at the end of my video last week was tell you guys what I was going to be working on during the week as far as boundaries go. And honestly, I'm still trying to like get down the whole like, I don't know exactly how to like say it without just saying like to make my video, because that sounds like, well, duh, make a video. That's your job. But I guess what I'm trying to say is to not feel guilty and to not feel bad saying, hey, I'm going to need help with the kids because I'm going to make this video, because that definitely is something that I always feel guilty about. So that's something I'm still working on right now. Even tonight, I was like, oh, I need to be helping with the kids, put them to bed. But I was like, no, I've said 9:30. I'm going to get on and do it. And yes, so, okay. Thank you guys so much for all the suggestions. You feel free to keep leaving a comment on what you want to hear about this coming Thursday, because I'm still kind of on the fence about exactly how I want to talk about what I want to talk about. Tweet me, Instagram me. Y'all, if you're not following me on Instagram, that's where I'm the most active. I'm on Twitter every now and then, but mostly it's Instagram. Follow me there. I love like seeing y'all's comments, talking to y'all there. I love doing Insta stories. It's kind of really fun, and it's like my favorite thing right now. So y'all follow me over there. Leave me some suggestions. Love to hear from you there. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing y'all on Thursday. Be there, be square. And if you're not subscribed to Katie on the Flip Side, hit the subscribe button and turn on the little bell so you'll get the notification, not just about the videos, but about the live streams as well. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye. End. Come on now.